Today we're going to talk about KEGELS, or KEGELS, however you want to call them. These are an exercise that's helping build the pelvic floor muscles. So those muscles go from the pubic bone to the tailbone, hip to hip, and it's just kind of like a sling between those 4 points. Those are the muscles that you're activating or strengthening with KEGELS. These are super important throughout your prenatal and postpartum season. Sometimes it's even important if they're weaker throughout regular life, but specifically prenatal and postpartum season, because as the baby starts to grow, then there's extra weight on those muscles, so they need to be strong to support the extra weight. And then when you enter the postpartum season, just rebuilding the strength in those muscles. So there are 4 different positions you can do these in. You can do them standing up, good posture, little arch in the back. You can do them sitting down. If you're sitting, don't just be slumping over or leaning towards the back of a chair. You want to just be on the edge of the chair, good posture, slight arch in the back. Those 2 positions are really great for everyday life, the postpartum season, and earlier in the pregnancy. Later in the pregnancy, 2 more positions that you could use that are more comfortable would be down on all 4s, or if you have any kind of wrist or carpal tunnel issue, you can do it on your forearms. And then the last position would be laying on your side, lying on your side. If you do it this way, make sure you have something that supports your head, and you can even put something between your knees. So those are the 4 positions. Now, how to do them. So what I really like to tell my clients is focus on lifting and squeezing. So you're going to focus muscles, pelvic floor muscles. You want to focus lifting them up into you and then squeezing them. 2 visuals that I have heard is almost like there's a blueberry at the bottom of your vagina and you're kind of lifting it up and squeezing it in. Another visual that I've heard is almost like stopping the flow of urine, so lift, squeeze. Either visual, if you have another visual, are great, but the focus is you're lifting, you're squeezing. Ideally, you want to hold anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds as you first start these out. It might be less time because you're just starting to activate these muscles, but throughout, as you're doing them more often, building up their strength, focus on 10, maybe even 12 seconds of that hold and then release. Another way to kind of make sure you're doing it correctly is making sure that nothing else is moving. You could be doing these on a bus with a ton of people around you and nobody should even know that you're activating the pelvic floor muscles or doing your KEGELS. So don't let your quads move, don't be squeezing the glutes, don't be leaning over, crunching anything in. You really just want to focus on solely the pelvic floor muscles, lifting, squeezing, and then releasing. As far as how often and how many you should be doing, I like to tell my clients, try to do 8 to 10 at a time, and then do this 3 different times throughout the day. It's important to kind of try to focus on getting most of them in earlier in the day when your muscles are just more rested and relaxed, because by the end of the day, you've been up, you've been moving, you've been active, so the pelvic floor muscles could already be strained. And then, you want to focus on doing them throughout your pregnancy and into that postpartum season. So there is pretty much everything you need to know about KEGELS. So get started and build up those muscles.